Pat Baker. Now, our guest tonight has had a tragic life, bless her.
Yeah, first she was forced to spend time in a house full of badly behaved drunks.
Then she became embroiled with a weirdo magician and a world full of strange crimes.
And she ended up surrounded by cold-hearted killers who made her scream blue murder.
Thank goodness she's now living the life of Riley.
It's Caroline Quentin!
Very nice, thank you very much. And you really are living the life of Riley. You say you've never been happier.
No, that's right. I had a big birthday this year, and it's been I've kind of settled into my life really. I think at last. Yeah.
And is it right that you say you were born to be middle-aged?
I think I was born middle-aged. I've always really liked gardening and the Archers. And now I can do that with no shame. Whereas when you're 20, people go, "Do you want to go clubbing?" Not really, but I've got some potting on I'd like to do. So now I feel I can really be who I am.
Yeah. Oh, well, you look very happy.
Thank you very much.
Now then, on Friday, the circus element, I'm enjoying some overripe bananas and warm water.
It's a hot bath. Caroline, you encountered a few animals.
Working animals in Kerala in the south of India, they're still most of their animals still work. So they treat them well, not out of sentimentality, but really out of necessity. They keep them well, they look after them. It's a bit like maintaining your tractor really thoroughly.
Yeah.
In a way.
Really, yeah.
So and of course then we all go over there and make a big fuss of them and kiss them on the trunk.
Yeah. Well.
But no, I think they're practical about their animals there.
Yeah.
Well, talking of animals on the move later, Miranda will be live on the other side of the glass. There she is looking up, but she's going to be swimming with these sharks that have just arrived at their new home in Fife. That's all happening live.
We have been told that they're safe and will only attack if provoked, so let's hope they've had their tea.
Yeah. Okay. Now then, care for the elderly is controversial. It's costly, standards of care are sometimes poor, and the body responsible for monitoring them has been criticised for not being tough enough.
Lucy Siegel has met a woman who makes it her business to visit homes and ask difficult questions on behalf of worried relatives everywhere.
Emotional needs are really important too. So when you go and look round, what is the interaction like between the residents and the people who work there? If someone's left on their own for a prolonged period of time, that's obviously really bad. If somebody gets upset, how do they deal with that? The ratio of staff to resident is really, really important. Now, there's no fixed rule to this. You have to use your common sense a bit. But at very busy times, like meal times, for example, are there going to be enough people on duty? And don't be fooled by the decor, because we go along for our relatives and we look and we think, oh, is this nice paintwork? Oh, I like that picture. It's not for us. We need to make sure that they're investing in the quality of care, not just in the decor. Extracurricular activity is very important. Just because you're going into a home doesn't mean that you don't like music, you don't like, sing plays. What do they do? Get a timetable of the activities and then do an unannounced visit and go and see that they're actually being carried out.
Do some good research. But Eileen uncovered some dreadful standards in some. It's very important to say some of those care homes there. So how have the Care Quality Commission responded to this then?
Well, I've got a statement. So the Care Quality Commission says their inspectors are now more closely linked to people's experiences, and they say that allows them to respond quickly if a service is not meeting essential standards. They also say they have the capacity for more than 40,000 inspections a year, and every home is visited at least every 2 years. So that's their response.
Okay, thank you very much, Lucy. Information and links to how to get hold of one of those inspection reports are available on our website, bbc.co.uk/The One Show.
Now then, in a bit, we're going to go live to Miranda in a tank full of menacing-looking sand tiger sharks.
They've been relocated 500 miles from Ireland to aquariums around the country. And if you've got a few 7-foot sharks to move and are wondering, well, how you do it,
The One Show service.
I'm about to get into a tank with 4 sand tigers. That was absolutely fantastic. They are incredibly inquisitive and really do come up to you. I didn't at any time feel under any threat. But I hope they're like that tomorrow when the capture totes big for their tank. In the last 18 months, they've bulked out and added 18 inches to their length. The zoo inspector now feels this tank is too small for all 4, which is why 2 are being relocated to. Well, this is it, the lorry's arriving, and now the clock really starts ticking to safely transport our 2 precious sharks over 500 miles away from their new home. With any distraction, we're staying safely outside the tank. The divers are all kitted up. What they're going to try and do is basically manoeuvre the shark into position over this stretcher that they've made, take the poles either side and wrap them up. The tension just as they're all going in is just incredible. We're all just standing up here, just waiting expectantly. The next time you see the divers, they should be coming out the water. Out of water, sharks are unable to breathe and their cartilage skeletons are too weak to protect their organs. So these transfers between tanks have to be kept as short as possible. Oh my God! Wow. One down, one to go. It takes almost another hour to capture the second shark, but now they're ready to fight.
It's been an extremely long weekend, but he's here now, and we'll get him down into quarantine as quickly as we can.
The last hurdle for this one is to negotiate the 3 flights of stairs down to the quarantine tank.
Well done, guys, well done. We'll monitor him now for the next 10 days or so, make sure everything's good to go. It just feels fantastic.
While this one settles in, the second is already on its way to Chester. Back at Dingle, the remaining pair can now make the most of the extra space and may live for up to 30 years. Hopefully.
Well, that was a couple of weeks ago, and here's what's going on right now up in Fife. Oh, it's Miranda. She's getting ready to go in.
She is.
The mask's going on. We'll be joining her shortly.
She must be so nervous.
Yeah.
But anyway, Caroline, forget sharks. In your sister gone, you're dealing with something a lot more scary, aren't you? Kids.
Yeah.
We're not happy at all.
Yeah.
It's the 3rd series of The Life of Riley. You play Maddie, mum of 4, with a hilarious mother. We watched it earlier. Before we talk about it, let's have a look at the first episode from the new series.
But now I've been wonderful. Marcia Warren, who plays my mum, is an extraordinary actress and a fantastic woman. I'm very lucky to have her actually because her timing is extraordinary. She's brilliant. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I have stepkids and my own children in the show, so yeah, no animals, no children.
That must be quite interesting though, from series to series, as they're getting older.
Yes, it is, and it's getting a lot more tiring.
Is it?
Yeah, because basically all any of them do, not the 2-year-old obviously, but all, you know, the other one, the teenagers and Ted, who's 11 in the show, basically just take the mickey out of me, boss me about, and push me to the right mark when I have to go and stand in a certain place on set.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of humiliated a lot of the time, but I like it.
Yeah, well, it's very funny. We enjoyed it this afternoon. We did no work, we just watched it.
Yeah, we did. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
But in real life, you're now living on a farm, but you have restored 9 houses, haven't you, over the course of the last 10 years?
Yes, I'm a sort of serial sort of house doer-upper. I've got that bug. And
To live in yourself then, or do you?
yeah, well, either that, I've done a couple of places for my mum, and I've done a few for myself. And I've moved a lot, actually, in fairness. So I move, do one up, and then on a whim, actually, quite often, we'll move somewhere else, and I've got a sort of passion for it. So
Brilliant.
I'm doing a new series coming up in May called Restoration Home, where I go and visit really quite grand houses, listed properties where people are doing those up, and it's also sort of it's a bit like Who Do You Think You Are, as much as we look at the history of the house as well.
yes.
See who's lived there, whether or not anyone's been murdered there, and they have sometimes. I really like telling people. So, do you know what happened in your kitchen? I love it.
And it puts them off moving.
Yeah, really. Don't stand there. You wouldn't want to if you knew what happened there. And you know, royalty have been there. And there's a kind of wonderful. I work with a social historian and an architectural historian, and then I also kind of keep an eye on the build. Oh, you've done it.
Yeah, we've got
Okay.
some pictures.
Here we are.
Oh, wonderful.
So what type of houses have you seen here then? Where are these?
That's a church, that's a Georgian house, and that is the most incredible house in Wales, which has got no roof and no walls, and he's building it himself. And that's another Georgian, beautiful Georgian property. But these places, I mean, look at that. They're such a lovely couple, those two. And basically, it's about people falling in love. Really, it's really quite a romantic thing. People fall in love with these very extraordinary buildings. And then, whether they have any money or not, some do and some really, really don't.
Yeah.
we stay with them whilst they do them up, and as they're doing them up, we look into the history of those properties and unveil some really fantastic stories, actually, because they're all quite extraordinary properties.
Yeah, well, it sounds absolutely fascinating.
She says it, I really love it. My husband said, because I've always liked doing properties, my husband said, really, you're just making your own property porn, aren't you?
Well, Restoration Home doesn't start until May, unfortunately, but you can catch Caroline in the Life of Riley, 8:30pm, Wednesday the 13th of April on BBC One.
Right, all this week our Dr. Sarah Jarvis will be opening her case files on some of the everyday illnesses that we all hope never to get.
Tonight she meets a woman who's itching to find a cure for a truly distressing problem.
Very hopeful. How are things with her at the moment?
Well, she's had her 4th injection, 1 a week, and no side effects so far, so she's doing really well from that respect. She hasn't got much benefit yet, but it often takes a little bit of time.
Lots of people who do suffer would be sitting at home thinking, gosh, I'd love to try that. Can anyone have this treatment?
No, absolutely not. It's not even just the cost. In fact, it's not mostly the cost. This is a serious drug, so you need to go to your GP, you need to get a referral to a dermatologist, a skin specialist. You need to have tried everything else before you'll be allowed to try this one. Because, you know, we don't know about the long-term side effects yet.
No. My best wishes to Susan. I hope it works.
Yeah, and in other kind of medical news, there's a big crackdown on incapacity benefits. Thousands of letters are going to go out asking for reassessments, and it's thought that maybe a third could lose their entitlements. Is that right in your estimations, would you say?
Difficult to say, but I have to say I do think it's right, because it's pretty scary, actually. You know, when you work all the time, heaven knows, but lots of people, obviously.
Look at me now.
Enough said, really.
Sitting here drinking water.
You haven't worked for a long time. It's really scary going back into work.
Yeah.
And, you know, your GP, you trust your GP. If they're trying to push you to go back into work, you may lose that trust. So I think it's quite right that somebody else is the person who's doing the assessment and, you know, trying to help you and give you the support to get back in. We've already got fit notes rather than sick notes. We're kind of moving in that direction. Don't know if anyone's noticed, there's not a lot of money left in the country.
No.
Got to spend it wisely.
Yes, okay. Thanks very much, Sarah. Lovely. Now it's shark time. Miranda should be live underwater at the Deep Sea World in Fife with some of those mean-looking sharks we saw earlier. There, Miranda?
I am, yes. Welcome to the UK's biggest fish tank. It's a little bit chilly down here, but it's perfect conditions for the new arrival. The sand-tiger shark who came here all the way from Southern Ireland. Now, these conditions are just luxurious for him here. He's got lots of space to swim around in. It's the size of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. And with me underwater is Tina, who masterminds the whole operation. Tina, how is the new kid on the block settling in? Oh, Miranda, he seems to be doing really well. I'm really pleased with how it's all going so far. In Scotland, back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you ever so much. Wasn't that amazing? That was definitely Miranda, honestly. You're quite
Yeah, that could be anybody. That was a voiceover.
Yeah.
Stunt woman.
Now, talking of facing creatures, you had a bit of an encounter with a snake, didn't you?
Yes, in India I was dealing with with all sorts actually, vipers and I can't remember the names. What of those was it?
Cobra.
Yeah, thank you, darling. Yeah, one of those. And indeed, there's a snake in the sitcom as well this year as well. So I'm just snakes. Yeah, I'm not scared of them much.
Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Tomorrow, we're going to be joined by Jodie Brengan.
Yeah, we will.
See you.
Bye now.
Bye.